What's up, my friends? My name is Mike Ficsacardi, and in today's episode, we're going to reinstall the seat belts that I had uninstalled a few episodes back. I just got them back from a company called Safety Restore, and the reason I'm going to show you the reinstallation is because in my original video where I removed the seat belts, after trying to remove the passenger seat belt, I realized that they were different than the driver side seatbelt. Now, what that exactly means is seatbelts come in 3 stages depending on how complex the safety system is in your car. Now, the driver seatbelt in my car, Subaru WRX, was a single stage seatbelt, and the passenger side seatbelt was a dual stage seatbelt. Now, there's another stage, obviously, triple stage seatbelt, and those stages are simply defined by how many electrical connectors you can find on your seatbelt. And here is the passenger seatbelt. As you can see, it has this cylinder here, which I'm not sure exactly what it is. Maybe it is filled with some type of gas, I guess, or to accelerate the tension of the seatbelt in an accident. But there's one connector there, and the other connector is here. So this is a dual stage seatbelt, whereas the driver side seatbelt has just one connector. So that's just a single stage seatbelt. So now I also have, if you didn't see my last episode, I sent off my safety module to be reset to Safety Restore. So that is out of the car right now. But I just wanted to start getting some of the interior stuff buttoned up and in place. I'm going to install the seat belts, but I'm not going to connect the electrical connectors. That'll all be done at the very end after the car is completely rebuilt and the safety module is back. I just want to get them mounted and in place just to make some room. Now these seat belts come already pre-tensioned. They're held in with a zip tie. We're going to leave that until we're ready to fully connect them and use them when the car is complete. So let's move on to the car and you can see the install. I'll start with the passenger side. Okay, my friends, so now we're in the car. I'm going to start with the passenger side seat belt, and hopefully you guys could see this because I know on my other video the lighting was very poor, so I got a bunch of lights now. Hopefully you can see this all. Again, I'm just going to hang the seat belts in their final position, just not going to plug them in. For this job, you're going to need a 14mm socket for the majority of the bolts, and then there's this one 10mm in the center here. Okay, first things first, you know me, I always like to put bolts back where I found them, so this way I remember where they go. Undo that bolt. You'll take your seat belt, yellow side facing you if you're sitting in the back seat, this side facing the driver's side, and you'll see you have a little hook there which hooks right into this slot, and you see it's right next to this electrical connector. We'll hook that into place, line it up down here. Let's put our small 10mm bolt in right here, just hand tight for now, and we'll secure our 14mm bolt down here. This one I'm going to send. Okay, let's quickly send that 10mm bolt home. Okay, so now that is secured in place. What we'll do next is take this part of the seat belt where this section buckles up to, bolts up to, and we're gonna mount this where it's supposed to be, up top here. One 14mm bolt at the top. Oh, and make sure this little tab lines up with this tab down here. And then you'll put your other 14mm bolt down here. You can tighten those up real good. Make sure you don't put this back all the way. Leave it off a little bit because you're going to need room to fit a wrench in there in order to tighten up this bolt here. Alright guys, so after that is all installed and bolted in place again, reinstall your top trim piece here. Then you could take your seat belt, make sure it's twisted in the right direction. You'll take this part of the buckle and you can feed it inside here. And we'll use a regular wrench to tighten this up. Make sure it's really tight. Okay, that's nice and tight. Then you could snap in your decorative piece back. Okay. Make sure your seatbelt operates properly. Make sure this moves up and down. And it does. We could reinstall this little decorative cover here. Up at the top. Okay. Now with that installed, now this gets installed underneath here. I'll show you when I get it into place. This cylinder here has a tab. Now we'll move this carpet out of the way. Line up the bolt with its hole down here, and there's a small opening, if you guys can see it, where that tab inserts into. Okay. And you see this is the other connector that will go right here. Now with that in place, we can go ahead and bolt up the bottom bolt, and our seatbelt will be fully installed. We'll put our carpet back for now. Leave that connector unplugged for now until we're ready to install the airbag module. Put this out. Make sure our seatbelt works, and it does. We'll undo this zip tie when we reconnect everything. This is there just to put a pre-tension at a resting position for the seatbelt. There's just one more bolt we forgot. There's a small 10mm bolt right here to secure this trim panel in place. First do it by hand. And that's it. Once that's tightened up, that's the passenger side done. I'm going to go ahead and do the driver's side. Hopefully it'll go much smoother since we learned from the passenger side. I just really wanted you guys to see that second stage of the seatbelt. So let's do the driver's side now. We'll get this bracket. Remember to leave this piece partially hanging, partially undone. Connect this section into this hole down here. Line up your bolts. Drive these in by hand because you don't want to strip them at first. So we'll drive in the bottom one, make sure it's lined up nicely. by hand at first, and then you could use an impact to get these nice and tight. Undo this, screw down here, undo this bolt down here, get our seat belt ready. Gonna take that little hook piece, hook it into place right up there, line up your holes here. And this one up top is a 10mm. Get your trim panel. You could feed this one in by hand for now. Take this captive bolt and try to get it threaded in by hand. Then we'll take our 14mm wrench and tighten. Get that as tight as you can. It's tight enough. Reposition your plastic panel. Up and down. Reinstall your SRS logo, and then down at the bottom we'll take this captive bolt and it's gonna live down here. Get it started by hand so you don't strip this. Once you're satisfied, make sure the seat belt functions. Yep, it's locking. We're not going to connect it, remember? So we got both passenger side and driver's side seat belts back in. The first one was a little bit of a pain, but I just wanted you guys to see it because it is a two-stage seat belt as opposed to a single stage. If you guys have any helpful tips to add, please feel free to add them in the comments section. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.